salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. For quite a few days, I'm trying to give answer to the question of Mr. Dani Khan. Perhaps he or she is from Kuwait or having problem with her babies who expired in the past, and they wanted to know that how would he and how we explain the metabolic disorders. So what happened in that, and why in cousin marriages or closer family marriages can cause this problem. So before that, I want to request you guys that if you have any question, please feel free to upload under my videos. And about the medical questions, I will try my best to answer you as much as possible. So talking about metabolic disorders which happen in the babies and they cause ultimate death. So we should remember the simple Mendelian gene mechanisms. So what happens in it that the one gene really comes from father and the other gene comes from the mother, and they meet together. So they together are responsible for certain enzymes or proteins. So in this case of their babies getting this disorder, so suppose there is a one dysfunctional gene from the father comes to the baby, and the other comes from the mother through the egg, and they meet together. So both genes have defective enzyme or protein produced from that. So what will happen? That enzyme will not work. So all these chain mechanisms which convert one protein to the other will stop, and that will cause the accumulation of toxic substances, ultimately leading to the death of the baby. But if you remember that if mother has a defective gene, she has a normal gene too. So baby has equal chance to get a normal or abnormal gene into itself. Similarly, father has a normal and a defective gene, and whichever gene comes up will manifest itself. So most of enzymatic or metabolic reaction pathways, the enzymes of which are produced in autosomal recessive disorders, where the disease coming from both sides, or enzyme coming from both sides is defective. So that leads to accumulation of the substance and leading to the problem, ultimately leading to death. So there's a big debate on cousin marriages. So what happens is, on average, every person has 6 mutations in one of the two genes. So, but they cannot manifest it. But if the other person has 6 mutations too, so the chances that people who are coming from the same background will have mutation of the same spot or locus. So if it will happen, those both genes will come into the baby and they will manifest itself and leading to the early death. But remember, that's not always that only cousin marriages causes problem. Certain genes or diseases have a high frequency in particular nations or ethnicities. Like for example, thalassemias are more prevalent in South Asia. Similarly, sickle cell anemia is more prevalent in Africans, and G6PD is more prevalent in Mediterraneans. Why this happens? Because majority of those people have mutated genes, and if you even marry away from the family, chances that the person will have that particular gene is still high. And the other cases is that they can happen sporadic, unknown, spontaneous mutation. So if you get abnormal from the one person, the other gene can get defected later on, like in retinoblastoma and many other diseases. So marrying away from the family is not a guarantee that you will not have a genetic problem. The chances are better that you will not have it, but you can carry from one side to the other of the next generations. So I think the people like Dani Khan, they lost a couple of kids. They must go to the geneticist before getting pregnant, and then they should decide how they will be going forward, and they should monitor the pregnancy. But remember, there's a 1 in 4 chance in this case that your child will be affected, and there will be 50% chance that you are carrier, so you have one gene defected, and the 25% chance is that both genes coming to the baby are normal ones. And remember, if your babies, 2 babies earlier ones had mutations, that is not the response. It doesn't give you freedom that the next baby will not have it, because every incident is independent of each other. So the previous incidences don't change the chances of the next one. So still into a baby's life, still your baby has 25% chances of having it. Hopefully it answered the question, and still if you have any questions, you can write it down and I will be very happy to explain it. Thank you.